You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the SmackDown RunDown. Yes, it is I, your host, the one and only Nikolai. And I am not joined by King J this week because he's at a family reunion, so he won't be able to make it. But I do have a guest co-host on the line with me tonight. You hear her all the time on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. She is practically my second host. It is the lovely Sierra.
Hello.
And of course, we have our producer, Killer Kev, behind the boards, making sure this show runs smoothly. All props go to him because he's had a hell of a week of busy hours, and yet he still manages to keep this network running afloat. So shout out to Killer Kev as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, we appreciate all the work you put in, my friend. So, Sierra, how are you doing tonight?
Besides the fact I just woke up from a nap, I've been okay.
Well, I hope that you're ready and raring to go for the show tonight. Did you watch SmackDown?
Yeah.
Now,
I always watch SmackDown more than anything lately.
Well, that seems to be the usual consensus around here because not many people like to watch Raw anymore, although it was good earlier this week. But SmackDown just always seems to be the better show.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, is there anything specific that you liked about tonight's SmackDown more than anything else?
Gee, first of all, I like the fact that Daniel Bryan actually had a moment on Cole.
Yeah, me too. I would always love to see anybody yell at Michael Cole, but Daniel Bryan, he's done it so many times. Unfortunately, I hope that he doesn't overdo it, and because he's the only one who seems to be calling him out, except for CM Punk a couple weeks ago on Raw.
Look, somebody's got to keep Cole in check. Somebody has to. I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying, that I hope he doesn't overdo it, but at the same time, as I said last week when I was talking to you guys in the chat room, this whole Daniel Bryan and Cole thing, how long is Cole going to continue to make fun of Daniel Bryan? It's getting old.
Yeah, well, apparently, and nobody in WWE thinks it's getting old because they've included that in the WWE 12 video game.
Yeah.
Every time Daniel Bryan has a match that Michael Cole just talks shit. So it's just become standard now, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon.
You know what? I think I figured it out. I think the reason we're seeing this so much is because it's actually in Daniel Bryan's contract that every time Michael Cole flips out on him, Daniel Bryan gets like $5,000 plus WWE makes a donation to the World Wildlife Fund.
It's more like there's a stipulation in Bryan's contract that he has to have Michael Cole berate him and call him a nerd and a loser every week. Because that seems to be how it goes.
You know, I'm just waiting for Daniel Bryan just to stare him down and just look at him and say, "You won't like me when I get angry."
Something needs to, whether it's that or some other ultimatum that would make him shut Michael Cole up because it's gotten so out of hand. I mean, how many times? Twice in the same night? I mean, Daniel Bryan was interviewed by Josh Matthews in the middle of the ring, and Michael Cole just randomly interrupts, complains and says, "Oh, you're a loser. You keep complaining and how you lost, blah, blah, blah." And Daniel Bryan gets in his face. And Cody Rhodes, who we'll get to in a minute, attacked Daniel Bryan. So that made Teddy Long set up a match later in the night for Cody Rhodes versus Daniel Bryan, which means we had to hear Michael Cole bitch about Daniel Bryan twice in one night.
You know what? All I got to say is this. Michael Cole is very wise to not wear a tie.
Oh my God. You really went there. You really went there on my fiance. Leave him alone. That is the past.
No,
he's been
seriously,
in therapy for it. He's trying to learn not to bother ties anymore.
I was seriously hoping he was wearing something festive around his neck.
Oh my goodness.
Or it should be like when Cole was in the coal mine and Jerry Lawler grabbed him by the tie and yanked him, reached in through the little handholds and pulled him through. I mean, we need some of that again. Just choke Michael Cole out with a tie or something.
Although, you know what I must say, I almost had a moment myself when I heard Michael Cole say that he did not condone attacks on announcers.
And that is a good segue because SmackDown opened up with Booker T just laid out ringside out of nowhere. And then we see Cody Rhodes, and I'm thinking, oh, that's why he's out. And this whole thing is going on with Cody Rhodes and Booker T, that Cody has attacked him 2 weeks in a row on SmackDown. And this is a wrestler attacking an announcer. Michael Cole feels bad for Cody Rhodes, but yet when Daniel Bryan gets in Cole's face and tells him that he should respect him because he earned his title shot, and Cole is now complaining that the wrestler is going after the commentator, but yet he's on Cody Rhodes' side. I mean, even Josh Matthews, who is finally starting to grow a backbone, he even called out Michael Cole and said, "You just talk out of both sides of your mouth because you're contradicting yourself."
Yeah, in the same sense, it's kind of the same scenario. You got Booker T. I mean, we all know he's a wrestler and everything, but now he's an announcer. You got a wrestler attacking him. Now you got an announcer and wrestler going at it again. And it's just like, I don't know what they're doing with Michael Cole, but sometimes I'm just like, please shut up. I don't get it. And I don't like it.
Yeah, and it seems like we're getting back to the days, even though it was just last year. Actually, no, earlier this year, where it seems that most of the attention is being focused on the commentators. I thought we had strayed away from that, and nope. It only took maybe a month or two of downtime just for all this to start up again. Michael Cole berating Jim Ross, and now he's stealing the spotlight, so to speak, from wrestlers. And even Booker T, who isn't jumping into anything, he's being brought into the mix. But Booker T's an actual wrestler. So, I don't know. I want to say that gives Booker some leeway. But at the same time, he's a commentator. You either do one thing or another. Jerry Lawler wrestles part-time whenever they see fit. Booker T, he hasn't done anything. So he's only had one match and been commentating ever since. But Michael Cole is just so obnoxious. He was way out of line today, and it was too much, way too much of him.
Yeah, I don't mind, the guys that are former in-ring performers that are now commentators getting in the ring sometimes. I don't mind. It's, it's nostalgia. Fans like that. But I just think at this point, we need to leave the announcers and the commentators as what they are. They don't need to step in the ring, and not everybody that's out there commentating should have to have a feud with Michael Cole, and then all of a sudden, we have a match. And it's just like, I'm fine with Michael Cole's character as being, kind of the bully and antagonizes all the baby faces, gets on everybody's nerves. I'm fine with that. But the fact that he is on Raw and SmackDown, and he's shoved down our throats, and the fact that they take these matches that are pieces of crap of him, of Cole versus JR versus Jerry Lawler, and take time away from the guys in the back. I'm just a little like, too much is going on. This is way, way, way too much of Michael Cole.
Yeah, and obviously I wouldn't mind it if it's in small doses. If you have Michael Cole, for 5 minutes complaining about something or talking, that's fine. But when they take up 15 minutes, which is an entire segment time, that's too much, too long. Move on. And speaking of announcers, I want to mention Lillian Garcia is back in WWE, and man, she still looks good.
Yeah. It was more so like if you blinked, you missed her. Speaking of that, I'm fine with Lillian being back, but what was the point of bringing Lillian back? First of all, they bring her back, and they have the nerve to play her music as her theme in the background. Then Cody Rhodes comes out there, interrupts her. Then later on through the night, Hornswoggle gets to announce the match, and I'm just like, ain't not Lillian doing the fucking announcing? What the hell is going on here? This is just, it's just too damn much.
It's almost like why did they bring her back if they're just gonna have Hornswoggle do guest ring announcing?
I was just like, good grief.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, Cody Rhodes had interrupted Lillian at first, and I'm not gonna lie, Cody actually kept me entertained with his little promo that he had. I tolerated him as dashing Cody Rhodes. I was getting really annoyed with grotesque Cody, but now I like this new gimmick, whatever it is. I like the way it is now because the way he's going with Booker T is funny because what he said was I guess I didn't send my message loud enough last week. And then he starts talking about who's going to fill this chair, who is going to spew moan-inducing cliches and first-grade commentary, and who's going to talk about their fave fives with 11 people in it. That was funny. I did like that.
Yeah. Is it me? Because the whole time Cody Rhodes is talking, I'm staring at him, obviously, and I started thinking, okay, his hair is light. Has his hair always been that light? Because I could have swore it was darker, unless they were dyeing it.
Who, Cody?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
No, because I was looking at him, and, they had the camera, right on him, and I was like, his hair is really light. Because I remember, recently, his hair was, really dark, and I'm like, are they dyeing his hair or something? I don't know. I just thought about that of all things.
A random thing. Random thing to think about.
I notice these things. I can't help it.
Okay, well...
Oh, hush.
Well, like we mentioned, Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan had a match, and I don't know, it was an okay match. It didn't really... It kind of was a little slow, but it was because they wanted to play up Daniel Bryan having injured ribs from SmackDown last week. Mark Henry basically destroyed him.
Yeah.
But this match had no finish because, thankfully, and I'm glad to see this, but Booker T ran down to the ring and got him some. He basically said... No, Booker T basically had a moment. And I loved it.
Booker T said...
Yeah, the wrong time.
Booker T said, I'm going to give me some now. Shucky ducky.
Yeah. Quack, quack. I'm fine with them feuding and everything. Booker come back and get his revenge and all, but Booker never, ever, ever, ever come and interrupt my man's match. Do that after. Because it caused a DQ and Cody won. Come on now. He needs all the wins he can get.
That is true.
Don't be doing that to him.
He is in a losing streak. He does need to calm down, get some wins, and refocus.
Yeah, it's looking a little rough here.
What, his career or his beard?
I really am sick of that beard. I liked it at first, but now I'm like, okay, the Grizzly Adams look can go. I'm just really just sick of it. I'm just like, oh God, please just get rid of it. Ugh.
Not until he wins the world title.
Yeah, and he's not planning on shaving it till like when he gets the title or Mania. And I'm just like, I can't. No.
Must be hard on that when the wedding comes around. You better hope that you might have to push that wedding after WrestleMania because it doesn't look like he's shaving it off anytime soon.
No, I'm not changing the date. He's shaving. I can't be standing next to him like that. What the hell is going on? It's just not going to look nice in the wedding pictures.
Well, it's
keeping what is that?
It's keeping his cheeks warm.
Really? That's your excuse?
All right, well, I had to come up with something because I don't want to start having a conversation about Daniel Bryan's beard. But, yeah, Booker T interrupted the match, and that actually made Cody mad. I don't know why, because you're the one who induced all this. You caused this anger. You caused Booker T to have a moment.
Yeah.
So he's the one who ran into Teddy Long's office demanding a match. So Teddy Long says, well, I'll do you one better. You can have him at TLC, and your Intercontinental title will be on the line. And I'm thinking finally, because Cody hasn't put his title on the line since October. Even Ziggler has defended his United States Championship frequently.
Yeah. What is going on with that belt? Because I had forgot that he even still had the belt.
Well, that's because they made us forget about it when he was feuding with Randy Orton.
Yeah, I just think that once in a while a title defense would be nice to see. I don't know. It's like sometimes they forget about certain titles in that company, and then they realize, oh, this belt is still here. Let's put it on the line.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it myself. I never forgot Cody was the champion. I just forgot that he defends it from time to time because he doesn't.
I thought it was his purse.
I mean, he presents it at a pay-per-view. He disposes of the old one, brings in the classic one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, all right, you're going to bring some prestige to it because it's a classic belt. And that's what he said he was going to do. And that night, he did defend it. But since then, nothing.
Yeah, it's more so like the night when he brought back the old belt. I was like, oh, okay, we're actually going to, have a long program with tonight. He's actually going to do something. But now that I just realized he still has the belt, I'm like, oh, I guess he upgraded from his old fanny pack to a new one. So I just don't get why they're not putting the belt on the line. I don't care if it's against goddamn Jinder Mahal. Just put the belt on the line. Have him defend the title. That's going to make people actually care.
Because for Cody Rhodes, it's not a title belt, it's a fashion accessory.
Fanny pack.
Exactly. It's a belt. He's using it as a belt, not a championship or a title. It's his belt.
I call it a fanny pack. Puts all his lip gloss in there.
Yeah, well, whatever he needs. I don't think he's dashing anymore, but whatever he needs to keep himself going. Well, speaking of the United States Championship, the number one contender had a squash match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was good to see. That's what number one contenders need. They need warm-up matches, squash matches. He's basically beat Wendy, a.k.a. Heath Slater, in about less than 60 seconds. I liked it. It was a good match. I've said this before. Slater sells moves well. He can take a hit. He knows how to, do the job.
What? I don't have an issue with Heath Slater. I have an issue with him talking. So I'm fine with him just being in the ring, not dogging or anything, and just being squashed. I like that. One thing I like about him, he knows how to take moves from somebody, and he sells them good. And he makes my look good, like they're dominating, and I like that. I just don't want him to ever talk again.
Well, hopefully we don't get that, at least anytime soon.
Oh, God, no. No.
Speaking of Wendy's, any of you guys tried that new W sandwich from Wendy's?
Not yet, but I want to.
I tried it the other day. Maybe
anything
it was just,
from Wendy's.
I tried it the other day, and maybe it's just my Wendy's. It just didn't taste anything special to me. I mean, looks like a good idea, but...
I don't know. I love Wendy's, so I'm going to try it sometime soon. I definitely don't love the Wendy character on SmackDown. But he's good for jobs. It's all because Job Morrison isn't there anymore, so we need someone else to do it.
Oh, leave him alone.
Poor Job Morrison.
Leave him alone. Poor thing.
Well, limos are a bad idea.
Look, I am devastated that I can't see that on Monday night anymore. I don't care if he's losing. I just like looking at him.
Which is always the case when it comes to your boyfriend's, husband's, fans, or whatever you want to call them all.
No, it was nothing like that. I just like looking at him.
Yeah, well, I know one guy you don't like looking at, Jinder Mahal.
Oh, God, why is he still there?
That's what I'm saying. And shout out to the Angry Marks chat room. You know, all three of us, myself, Sierra, and Killer Kev, are in there with Stevie J. And King J is in there. He's not able to be on the line. And
well, he just left.
Yeah, apparently he just lost his internet, so he's no longer there. But, yes, Stevie J also mentions, why is Wendy still have a job? And that's what we're all saying about Jinder Mahal. Why does he still have a job? Well, apparently it's to feud with Ted DiBiase. And I've said this last week. This is just a feud for the lower cards to have something to do.
Well, like I said, was it last week when I was on? I understand the storyline they're going for, but it's actually fine and it's decent for actually to get Ted DiBiase going somewhere on SmackDown where people actually start caring about him. But in all seriousness, WWE, y'all got one more month to get rid of Jinder Mahal. I cannot take him. I just don't see nothing in this guy at all. I don't like this is my problem with it. Okay, like I said, I understand storyline purpose and what they're trying to do, get Ted DiBiase over, blah blah blah. Okay, once you get him over enough after a couple wins on Jinder Mahal, get rid of Jinder Mahal. Bring in other guys like Tyson Kidd, who is not doing a goddamn thing. You got Kurt Hawkins. I know he would like to have a match on SmackDown. Tyler Rex. Yes, he still works there.
Wow.
I mean, I watched NXT this past week. I don't know if you watch it, Nick. They had two tag team matches that were good.
So I've heard.
They got 4 solid tag teams on that brand. And then each week, they bring out a different tag team, and they all work together. There's so many guys on that brand that they don't even use. So I would like, if you're going to get Ted over, bring in some of those guys that can job to him.
Let me guess. Those teams are the Usos, Hawkins and Rex.
Yes.
JTG and Darren Young.
Which I actually like as a team.
Yeah, me too. And isn't Titus O'Neil teaming with Percy Watson?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen some of the reports. They've even had their matches on WWE Superstars. And that's, they definitely put on some good matches there. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry over to Raw or SmackDown.
I wish they would. Because they got decent teams right there on NXT. Because when I watched it this past week, I was like, they have some decent teams here. You wouldn't know it. Because they're too busy putting random goddamn teams together that don't fit, or one of them gets suspended for 30 goddamn days. I don't know what they're doing with their division.
NXT has been going on for so long. I think it is its own show, and it has its own storylines. And I don't even want to get into it, but they have a storyline with Derek Bateman and Maxine and her mother. And
oh, Jesus!
hey, props to NXT for doing their thing. They're keeping their talent busy. Like we just mentioned, 8 guys over there doing stuff, and even Tyson Kidd,
Yoshi Tatsu. Hell, I even saw a clip featuring Johnny Curtis, and I forgot about that fool. Yes, and he actually is fucking. Something's wrong with that guy. Something's just not right.
Well, he's not on SmackDown, and that's all I care about.
Yes, thank God, but something's just not right, and something's wrong with that water he's drinking.
Well, speaking of NXT, one of the original members from season 1, David Otunga, showed up on SmackDown again, and this time he was complaining to Teddy Long that he was put in a match against Randy Orton last week, and Teddy Long says he agrees, but since he's there, he might as well have a match.
Are they going to do this every week with Otunga?
I don't know. All I know is that if they're going to use him, fine, because I don't have to see him in those Argyle sweaters and slurping his coffee and with those silly-ass bow ties.
Well, my thing is just not the bow ties. It's just that, okay, he's a Raw superstar, and he's, what's his name? Mr. I can't stand the sound of his voice. Puppy dog. Why is he... Okay, he can't get a match on Raw, from what I see, but he can get a match on SmackDown. Keep your ass on Raw. If you don't want to come to SmackDown and have a match, stay on Raw.
And that's what Teddy Long told Otunga. You're here. I can put you in a match because you have to follow authority.
Yeah. It just makes no common sense at all.
There's a lot of things around here that don't make sense.
Yeah, how about WWE scrapping the Divas angle from tonight's SmackDown?
The Divas?
Yeah.
I read something in the spoilers that they had a match, but it didn't come on TV. I was actually expecting it, and I was surprised when the last match was over that there was nothing else, because I wasn't even paying attention to the time or anything else going on.
Yeah,
So why don't you fill us in?
Okay, apparently, as y'all know, we all read spoilers and stuff, AJ and Caitlyn had a match against Beth Phoenix and Natalya. And at the end of the match, AJ, of course, was the one got hurt. Caitlyn and Beth Phoenix and Natalya, they have a stare down, and she walks over to the side where they're standing. And I saw the clip on YouTube, and let me tell you, when she went over there and stood next to them, they looked like a fucking force to be reckoned with. And they walked out the ring. It was done perfectly. This morning, there was news all over the place about how WWE scrapped it from the Australian version of SmackDown. So everybody was thinking maybe it's on the US version. No. They took it off the US version too. I don't know if they're not going to go with this angle, or if they're going to save it for next week, which I think is so stupid to do if you already filmed it and your crowd's already seen it and the clip is on YouTube.
I would have liked to see that angle, because we've mentioned this before on the SmackDown RunDown, that with AJ and Caitlyn, it looks like they're going to have a feud, and if Caitlyn joined the Pin-Up Strong movement, that would be a plus, because Caitlyn is pretty thick, she's strong, she has some muscle on her.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
It was like Caitlyn, then Beth's in the middle, and then Talia's on the other side. And I was just looking at them, and I was like, that is fucking crazy that she is like almost Beth's size when Beth was like first in the WWE.
Well, let's hope that they do this some other time, because I would actually like to see that, and not on YouTube, because
yeah,
if maybe this will boost their morale, Beth Phoenix and Natalya I'm talking about. And maybe it'll hopefully let them win matches because they can't even beat Kelly right now.
I doubt that will happen because this past week, news came out that Vince McMahon told Creative that he wants the Bella Twins pushed more. So...
Oh, God.
I don't know what the... You know, when I first read that he went off in Creative, was telling about how they failed to do so many things with the Bella Twins, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, you want us to care about two girls running around trying to basically bang Alberto Del Rio, and we got 5 girls in a freaking feud of 2 bitches trying to dominate the entire Divas division, and you want us to care more about them? It's so stupid.
Yeah, most things are these days. But, I mean, yeah, that wasn't on the Australian version. It wasn't on the US version. We didn't see anything with the Divas at all this week. Except for Lillian. She was the only diva around.
Oh, God.
I don't mind.
Lillian, please. I like you, but can you stop wearing animal print like that all the time? Girl. Like, it just really bothers me. And then the freaking highlights in there. Lillian, you need a makeover.
Oh, just give her a break. She's just returning. She hasn't caught up to what's going on.
She had enough time.
Well, speaking of time, let us take a time out right now and run a quick commercial break before we continue on with the show. So, with that said, we will be right back with the SmackDown Rundown.
Are you looking for news on Lindsay Lohan going to jail, Oprah Winfrey's book club, and Britney Spears' latest album to hit the charts? Then take a hike, jabroni! Amped Radio has the latest professional wrestling news, rumors, and the best industry interviews. The Bowling Alley, The Shoot Club, In the Room, and much more. Catch us on the web at www.ampd-radio.com. Internet radio that will blow your freaking mind.
Hey, Mark Springs on here, host of the Amp Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. Do not adjust your internet. The Amp Raw Reaction is coming back, baby. Tune in every Monday night on the Angry Marks Podcast Network to the Amp Raw Reaction as Killer Kevin and I break down everything you just saw. Basically, folks, we're going to tell you what you ought to think about what you just saw. Again, it's the Amp Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network every Monday night following Monday Night Raw.
Hey everybody, this is Stevie J from the Thursday Night AngryMarks.com Pro Wrestling and Mixed Martial Arts Podcast. You don't want to miss our fabulous show. Peter H., the Hardcore Canadian, and I discuss everything going on in the world of wrestling and MMA every Thursday night on AngryMarks.com. You can check us out there, or you can check us out on iTunes, keyword Angry Marks. That's the Thursday Night AMP from Stevie J and Peter H., the Hardcore Canadian. It's a great show from the AngryMarks.com podcast network.
Welcome back to the SmackDown Rundown. Here on the Angry Marks Podcast Network and Amped Radio and on iTunes, keyword Angry Marks. We are here talking about SmackDown, myself and Ciara, and a couple of choice comments from producer Killer Kev. So let's get this show continuing on. And first, I want to bring up a confrontation in the middle of the ring with Big Show and Mark Henry, and this was to promote their match at TLC pay-per-view, which has now been confirmed as a chairs match. And Jeff and I predicted this a couple of weeks ago that this would be a chairs match since they've taken each other out with a chair.
Every time I hear chairs match, I get scared. I don't know, I just don't like I don't like the whole concept of how they've taken TLC and made the matches separate.
You don't like that?
No, I just think it's just
What you
I don't know.
expect? Do you expect every match to be TLC?
I guess in my little world, but I don't know. When I hear chairs match, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Hit each other with chairs the whole time? Just, I don't know. I'm fine with ladder matches, table matches, but chairs, I don't know.
You know why, right? It's because they haven't really done the best job of explaining a chairs match or setting it up, because basically what they say is chairs are legal, but that's all they say. They haven't said if it's a no DQ match and you can only use chairs, or it's a standard match with chairs being legal and everything else is available for disqualification. They just haven't completely explained it, and that's why it's confusing. I don't like chairs matches, but if it comes off well, then I don't mind. The only problem is they need to really explain themselves or find some way to separate themselves from, giving us a wrong sense of what it means to be in a chairs match.
Yeah, I think that's what the one thing with WWE is, especially when they come up with these new pay-per-views or these new match concepts, they never explain the match to anyone. And then people are confused. They're like, what the fuck? Like, what am I, what are we doing? Just like with their pay-per-view Fatal 4-Way. Everybody thought that there was going to be a Fatal 4-Way for every match. No. It's just for the main event. So I just really wish they would explain that a little bit more, because when I hear chairs matches, I could possibly think that they're going to play musical chairs. I don't know.
Well, see, if it was me, I would have said that a chairs match would be you can only win after using the chair, or maybe like, think of it like Triple H versus The Rock.
Yeah.
You have a chair in the center of the ring and you're supposed to slam your opponent on it or something. Hit a pedigree on the chair or rock bottom on the chair, or use the chair in some way that's unique in order to get the victory. It's just they haven't been very unique or creative with it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Mark Henry and Big Show had a confrontation in the middle of the ring, and I don't know about you, Sierra, but I'm actually getting a little sick of Big Show having a promo week after week. I would rather see him in a match.
Yeah, I've been saying this for 2 weeks now. I am sick and tired of Paul coming out there and cutting a promo. It's just, okay, Paul, I get it. You're mad at Mark Henry because he hurt your leg and blah, blah, blah. But every week you tell us the same thing over and over. It's a little too much. And then for a while he was crying.
Well, he was crying when he came back, but...
Yeah, but damn. Should nobody that big be crying? I'm sorry. There's no reason. I just, I like this feud with Big Show and Mark Henry. But I kind of wonder if they're going to do Big Show come out there every week cutting promos and Mark Henry yelling at Teddy Long every week. How long they're going to keep this feud going?
This might be the last of it. This could be the end, because Mark Henry had said, after this, let bygones be bygones, and, may the best man win.
Which I'd be fine with. But then after that, see, the tricky thing is, we all know Kane is returning soon. Apparently he's returning at Royal Rumble. And we all know The Undertaker's returning also. So I'm kind of like, okay, if we end this feud right now at TLC, where Mark Henry goes over, is his next opponent Kane, or is it going to be Randy Orton or somebody else?
I don't know. I would probably say it would be Kane would feud with Mark Henry regardless if he wins or not.
Yeah. I mean, I see that coming anyways, but I'm just looking at it as if he still has the title, who's next in line, because They got Wade Barrett, Randy Orton. They got Daniel Bryan, who said he's still going to cash in his Money in the Bank. You got so much going on SmackDown, especially around next year in 2012. So many possibilities.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, I would see Kane coming back at TLC, but like you said, they might hold him off to Royal Rumble, which is a month later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Kane is definitely a factor. He's a variable at this point. It's hard to say. It really is. I can't think of where Kane would fit into all this, but I would think Big Show and Mark Henry's feud would have to end, if not at the Royal Rumble.
Well, I would say that also, but I'm kind of tired of Show and Mark Henry right now, and I just think that maybe we should start 2012 off with something fresh. Maybe we have Mark Henry destroy Big Show or whatever. And, of course, they're putting Mark Henry over as this big dominant force. Have him be like, no one can step up to me. Kane returns to Royal Rumble and goes after him. Because, he injured him.
Yeah, that is true. So that's why I expect Kane to go after Mark Henry at some point.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but I do not want to see Mark Henry versus The Undertaker. At all. I can't do it.
Okay, I guess you don't want that.
No, I just don't want to see Undertaker barely moving versus big old Mark. No.
Well, Mark Henry claims he's going to be 100% at TLC, and he says Big Show thinks he's a monster, but Mark Henry knows that he himself is. And with that, he sucker punches him, and Big Show, fights back and grabs a chair to hit him in the back, hit him in the leg, and walks off. Big Show had his own moment.
So, this week on SmackDown, everybody just pretty much lost their mind.
Apparently.
You have Big Show lose his mind, Daniel Bryan lose his mind, Cody lost his mind, Booker T lost his mind, Hornswoggle lost his mind for even announcing. You had a lot of these moments going on.
There was definitely some anger in the air tonight on SmackDown.
Yeah, what is that? It's the holiday season. Act like it.
Well, there are two names that we haven't mentioned who lose their minds tonight, and that's Wade Barrett and Randy Orton. Both of them were involved in Beat the Clock challenges, which, by the way, only SmackDown does. There seems to be a SmackDown tradition.
Oh God! Remember years ago when they used to have they would do the special Beat the Clock challenges show, and every match would be that.
Yeah, that happened probably for about 3 years in a row at the first week of the year. They did that first week of January. There would be a Beat the Clock challenge to determine a number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. This time, however, it was only between Wade Barrett and Randy Orton, who had separate matches, and the winner gets to pick the stipulation for their match at TLC. So up first, Wade Barrett took on Ezekiel Jackson, who randomly has hair now, no longer bald.
God.
Just like Tyson Kidd, no longer bald. These guys are growing hair now. Anyways.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. I'm not used to seeing them like that.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, they need their heads warm.
Yeah.
I've gone a couple of years with not cutting my hair during the winter. Hey, it really does keep your scalp warm.
Yeah, I need a haircut. Bad.
Well, Wade Barrett and Zeke had their match, and the Barrett barrage continues. It even rolled through Ezekiel Jackson. Barrett hit the boss man slam and got the 3 count, and it's nice to see him have another move other than the wasteland.
Yeah, I like how they're putting Wade Barrett over. I really do. I was just like, when Ezekiel Jackson came out there, I was like, okay, former Intercontinental Champion. Isn't it just me, or is it how kind of crazy of how they were putting this guy over as Intercontinental Champion, all of a sudden he's, being fed to guys like Wade Barrett.
Yeah, and also to note, during the match, who was it? It was either Michael Cole or Josh Matthews. They asked Cody how he felt about the match, and Rhodes reminded all of us that he beat Ezekiel Jackson for the Intercontinental Championship. And that was back when Ted DiBiase was by his side.
Yeah, and didn't Ezekiel beat Wade Barrett for the championship?
That's right.
Irony?
It's the three stages right there.
It's just strange how they're all just around each other like that.
Yeah.
And no beef.
So, Wade Barrett wins the Beat the Clock Challenge with a time of 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Randy Orton had to beat that time in order to earn the right to name the stipulation. So he took on the United States Champion, Dolph Ziggler. What a match. This match was... I don't know. I mean... the match they had on Raw last week was better.
Yeah.
Because you had Randy Orton taking on Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler put it all on the line. He put his best effort out there. He himself didn't think it was a good match, but to me that was good because he got the pin over Orton. That was damn good. Tonight's match, it didn't really flow that well. You know why? Because Randy Orton tried to rush the victory, and they were just flailing all around the ring.
Yeah, I hate when he rushes. It just seems like everything just... You could tell it was rushed, and then you can tell it was just like they were not connecting as good because they were going by the time. And I was just like... please be over already.
The match was fine as it was. I mean, Orton still got his big moves. He still got his shit in. He hit the top rope superplex. He made his comeback with clotheslines and the power slam. Hit the Hangman's DDT off the ropes. And I found that funny because it was towards the end of the match, and Ziggler just held on to his leg every chance he got. He rolled out of the ring every chance he got. And at one point, after Orton hit the DDT, Ziggler rolled out of the ring. Orton looked at the clock, which was probably a minute left.
Mm-hmm.
Clotheslined him outside the ring, then threw him back in. And in comes Wade Barrett to shove him into the ring post, and I'm thinking, that is a sneaky-ass move, and I'm so happy he did it because Wade Barrett needs to establish his dominance with this Barrett barrage, and I love it.
Yeah, I like how they're going after each other each week, regardless if they're in matches or not. Wade comes out there, attacks him. He goes out there, attacks Wade. I actually like how they're still continuing it. Where other storylines, we go week to week and we forget that two people are feuding.
Yeah. But this was a really close ending. I mean, after that, Barrett ran away. Orton was slowly getting up. The ref was counting all the way up to 9, and Orton gets in the ring, and bam, RKO. Just like that. And Orton wins the match with 2 seconds left.
Was there any doubt?
Yeah, I would like for there to be some, and not... I mean, I like Orton, but this is Super Cena territory we're driving in here.
I've been saying that for how long now?
I know, and it's getting out of hand, and even Melissa, who's a diehard Randy Orton fan, was not impressed.
I said this, a month ago when we were all, what was it? He was on Raw, and I was like, I am over this Super Orton thing. I mean, granted, I like Randy Orton. I like looking at him, but now it's at the point where I'm tired of looking at him. It's too much Orton. Because he's on Raw and SmackDown now. And he's been curtain jerking Raw now. What is that?
It's so funny you mentioned that, because playing WWE 12 and I'm playing Universe mode, Orton is a SmackDown superstar, but yet he's the first man to come out whenever Raw starts. It's art imitating life.
THQ was not playing when they said they were going to imitate life. They were not fucking playing. Something just ain't right.
Orton is curtain jerking Raw on the video game and on TV.
What is going on?
But yeah, Orton, he won the Beat the Clock Challenge, of course. He gets to name the stipulation, but before he even gets to, Wade Barrett sneaks in and attacks Orton again, hits him with the Boss Man Slam, and this time he, there's a table, a ladder, and with it, on ringside, I'm getting all tongue-tied. At ringside, there's a table with a ladder and a chair on it. Wade Barrett decides to toss them aside and looks at the table, and we're thinking, of course, it's a tables match. What else could it be? And I have no problem, because we predicted this on this very show a few weeks ago.
Are you guys booking WWE?
You would think so. Either that or we're very prophetic.
I think one of you guys is working for creative. I really do.
Kayfabe. Whoa, okay, well anyway. Wade Barrett decides to make the choice for Randy himself. Wants to hit the wasteland, but Orton slips off, and Barrett runs away. And poor Ziggler, he's still ringside. He has to be the cannon fodder, and Orton decides to pick him up and powerbomb him through the table. And I'm thinking, all right, well, makes sense. It's one of the few matches. It's the only other match that's not listed for TLC. And this is a semi-big feud. I'd say it's the lower part of the lower card of the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the Barrett Barrage, and he's becoming his own character. Randy Orton, he's already a character. He could stand to, take an L every now and then.
Yeah.
So, and when this is going on, after the Ziggler gets powerbombed through the table, I see the little copyright sign at the bottom corner of the TV, and I'm thinking, oh, wait, the show's over? I had no idea that it was at the end. I was just paying attention to what was going on. I didn't even know it was over.
I guess seriously, here you going, show's over?
Literally, I said that. I was really surprised. It caught me off guard. I wasn't even looking at the time and everything. I came home late when SmackDown started, so I really was so lost. And you know what? It was a good show. I liked all the matches. Zack Ryder getting a win since being the number one contender. Sheamus,
you forgot about him.
Yeah, Sheamus gets a squash over David Otunga. Daniel Bryan got some mic and camera time. Cody Rhodes got some mic and camera time. Booker T's being, this is the second week in a row he hasn't commentated at all.
Thank God.
Yeah, I'm sure King Jay is somewhere cheering that on, so...
Yes.
Shout out to King Jay as well. But yeah, this was a good show.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Usually I'm like, oh God. Why am I watching this? But I actually didn't say that for once tonight. Usually I say that with everything WWE. Why in the hell am I watching this?
I'm sure you said, oh God, when Jinder Mahal came on TV, but you had to have been cheering when Ted DiBiase defeated him, so I know I was.
Yeah, when I first saw him, I was like, why is he still work here? I seriously start crying now. Well, why is he still working here?
Oh. Well, it looks like we basically covered all the topics for tonight's SmackDown. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up the show?
Have you seen the new DLC for WWE 12?
Of it, and even on Facebook, WWE has posted stuff on there. It's going to be Karma, the Bella Twins, Vicky Guerrero, and Trish Stratus. So I can't wait for that. Also, in another pack, Macho Man Randy Savage and Alicia Fox is added. This Mick Foley is going to be added.
Brodus Clay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Well, he's neither here nor there because WWE continues to forget about him every week.
And Batista.
Well, that does make him neither here nor there then, doesn't it?
So, guess what, people? You can have Batista and his son tag.
Oh, God, I knew you were going there. Oh, man.
Reunited.
Oh, man. Well, after that, why don't we just end the show there? First off, why don't we get Killer Kev to close out the show with some of his programming notes that he might have.
Yes, a quick programming note. The Bowling Alley season finale was supposed to happen right after the SmackDown RunDown. Unfortunately, that is going to be canceled for tonight because we just got news from Amped Radio's Rob Dickin that Mr. Bowen had to take a trip to the ER this evening. He is resting comfortably at home now, but it's going to preclude having a show, but they are going to try to get that scheduled back in before the end of 2011 here. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen, and that's all I have to say for tonight.
All right. Well, thank you, Kev, for that note and update. Sierra, any last words before we close up?
No, not really. Just I'm waiting for the new DLC.
As are we all, and I definitely thank you for joining me tonight. Unfortunately, King J couldn't be here, but our good friend Sierra was here to step in and take over, and as always, does a great job. So thank you, Sierra, for that.
No, thank you for having me. I don't mind. I always tell you guys, I don't mind. I'm always around. It's not like I'm doing anything.
And obviously, I'd like to thank each and every one of our listeners for tuning in, whether live or in the Angry Marks chat room or on the download here on angrymarks.com or on iTunes, keyword Angry Marks. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the SmackDown RunDown. Thank you all for listening. Tune in next week as we run down SmackDown and preview the card for WWE TLC. See you next week, everybody. Good night.